17th, we're going to be working with the Hancock County Animal Shelter, Friends of the Animal Shelter, here on the town green from 9 to 1 on July 17th. We will be offering rabies shots for dogs and cats for $5, as well as getting your dogs and cats chipped for $35. We will also have our chipper available so we can scan your cat or dog to see if the chip is up to date, your name and address is correct. So it's going to be a fun day here. And Diamondhead, checking out the pets. We also are having, it's going to be a busy day on the 17th. We're also having the ward meeting on that day instead of this Saturday. It's going to be on the 3rd Saturday. So we hope you can attend that. Next, we have Mr. Jamie Welsh with Rostan Solutions. Miss Jamie Welsh, I'm sorry, honey. Welcome. So you're going to give us an update on the hurricane status. And welcome back.
I was going to say thank you for having me back. Yes, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jamie Welsh with Rostan Solutions. I'm the city's disaster recovery consultant. I am here tonight to provide you with updates of your Hurricane Zeta projects under the FEMA Public Assistance Grant Program and ongoing recovery efforts. The city has a total of 5 projects submitted to FEMA, which were categorized by the type of work performed. Most critically, the city had a $2 million debris removal project where Holiday Construction was hired as the hauler and Tetra Tech was hired as the monitor. There was also city personnel who performed debris operations as well. But the city had approximately 116,000 cubic yards of vegetative debris and 83,000 cubic yards of construction and demolition debris. So this project is moving forward within the FEMA review queues. There were a recent change in our FEMA in command on our FEMA team. So there was a slight pause on all our projects as the new leadership came on board and familiarized herself with our projects. But we should be back on track next week and move closer to obligation. Once the project is obligated, the city will start the reimbursement process with the state. So also, I wanted to mention under this debris removal project, there was about 12,000 cubic yards of debris collected on commercial property, and that totaled about 78,000 of hauling and monitoring fees. So because of the city's unique layout of a mixed commercial and residential properties, the city had concerns about the potential health and safety risk caused by the debris. But under FEMA policy, you need prior approval to remove commercial debris. So the city communicated with both FEMA and MEMA during preliminary damage assessments and early meetings, but they were told that this work was going to be ineligible. So we have sufficient documentation to support the city's multiple efforts in trying to obtain prior approval. And of course, because both FEMA and MEMA failed to guide the city properly, we appealed that decision. And we submitted that on June 24th. So the appeal is currently with the state, who will write its own recommendation to FEMA and then submit both packets to FEMA for a decision. And we'll keep you posted on that front. But that's all the debris operations for under the PA program. The city also claims some emergency protective measures, such as generator usage to run City Hall. We also claim labor and equipment usage for the local law enforcement who patrol during the storm. And that project totaled about $7,200 and has already been obligated and paid to the city. There was another project where there was some hazard trees removed from city property. That project totaled about $3,500. And the only thing that's holding up this project is we didn't have photos of those trees prior to the event. So in lieu of photos, we're just preparing affidavits for that. So hopefully that should be done soon and move the project along. Then, as another project, the city received some donated resources from a company called Stump and Grind. Their scope included removal of 16 stumps throughout the city as a result of the storms, but of course, due to a very active hurricane season last year, and because with the weather impediments occurring earlier this year and subsequent scheduling, they're going to remove the remaining stumps by the fall. I think they removed about half so far. So that's estimated around $3,000. And then lastly, we have a project inclusive of road damages that were just incidental to the debris work. So you have Golf Club Road, a drive and Diamondhead Drive that were damaged from the heavy equipment and dump trucks. Of course, they're the only access roads available to enter and exit the city, and they're asphalt roads. So the city did perform some temporary patches with some cold asphalt, but of course they need to be properly repaired with hot asphalt in accordance with DOT standards. So for that one, we're just waiting on FEMA's site inspection reports, and again, hopefully these projects move along much faster when these little things are taken care of. And those are the 5 PA projects. The city clerk, the finance clerk, and our team, we participate in weekly FEMA and MEMA meetings. So we have a constant line of communications, and we get updates regularly, and we'll keep you posted. But the only other item, sorry, I got to tickle my throat. The only other item I would like to mention is that Kyle Jones with Rostan, who spoke here previously, he's internally working with the city manager to analyze several mitigation projects and the availability of federal funding through other resources such as like hazard mitigation, the flood mitigation assistance program, building resilient infrastructure and communities program. So I'm not as familiar with those programs as Kyle is, but in recent years, some of those programs have been underutilized by MEMA. So we feel there's a good possibility of some funding here for the city. So we'll continue to work with Mike's team to develop funding strategies for all available mitigation money. And we did submit 2 letters of intent to MEMA for the hazard mitigation program. We sought funds for a mobile generator and light towers to ensure continuity of operations in some critical facilities because there's so many still without backup power. That's estimated around $68,000. And then the city is also interested in pursuing some an outdoor emergency alert siren system, just as a reliable warning notification for severe weather and other emergencies. And that's estimated about $200,000. So it's perfect timing, this meeting, because MEMA did reach out today and they requested a call tomorrow. So we're hoping for some good news or at least guidance on the next steps. Any other questions?
That's excellent news on both HMGP
Yeah,
funds.
it's gonna be
'cause we
huge for
need-
the city.
We need both of those, and we've been trying to get that done for a
For a
few
while.
years.
Mhm.
Any questions to my left? Any questions to my right? Well, thank you, Jamie.
Thank you for having
Y'all are
me.
doing a good job. Thank
Mayor,
you
if I
very
may
much.
just make a couple of comments. So I'd like to, pat Jamie and Kyle on the back. Before Tropical Storm, like Claudette was coming, I mean, they were engaging us with information. And the same is going from these project worksheets. Obviously, one of my main concerns right now is how do we get the $2 million back and put back in our bank account?
Right.
Because we're now entering hurricane season. And if we have another one, it would be good to have that cash on hand so we can do just like we did the last
Right.
time. So that's a push that we've been trying to make. But the team at Rostan has been extraordinary, especially looking to open doors and things that probably we would not have gotten. That they are working very hard for us. I just want to kind of throw that out to them.
Thank you.
And again, Kyle is supposed to come in town, hopefully in the next week or two. That way he and I can go look at some certain ditches and some other areas for looking at mitigation.
And Kyle is a better speaker, but I do appreciate you having me back. So
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you
all.
very much. And now we'll move to the city manager's report. Mr. Michael Russo.
This won't be as long as the first meeting, I promise. Obviously, since this is the first meeting of the new council, there are several items on the agenda that need council action. This includes reappointing key personnel in the city attorney, city prosecutor, municipal judge, and also to approve compensation, again, statutorily an obligation of the new council. There's an item on the agenda regarding East Aloha and the right-of-way. Obviously, the city is working with the property owners to gain a 60-foot straight right-of-way for those road improvements. We're dealing with the Rouses, Mike Cassano, the first, and Jim Kurtowski. We are returning some of the land that they've already given back to us. About a year and a half ago, they gave us some land. Now we're returning some of that back. And then there's still, some of them are transferring a little pieces back to us One of the goals that Orion came up with was really to kind of straighten the road a little bit. So if you look down the road, you don't see it at an angle and turned. So trying to make it a little bit more where you can see down the road. Again, our engineers have been working on that. All the property owners have agreed to this with us. We're pushing the engineer to have plans ready so that way I can put that in front of the council in August to basically bid this project for the drainage and road work. The sidewalks that will come are funded with a different grant, and that'll be done on a separate contract. There's a resolution to use city resources to clear private land on the agenda. I'm asking for authorization to have Public Works basically bush hog part of a parcel at the end of Noma Drive. It's currently owned by Peter Casano. This is where the new Noma Drive boat launch and pier, or our waterfront project, is designated to go. We're asking the owner to donate the right-of-way to the city. This includes for the road, the boat launch, and the parking area. We need to cut the grass so that our engineer can go stake it off and identify exactly what will be the right-of-way, so everybody can kind of see this is what we're talking about. I'm also pushing our engineer on that one to be in a position to move towards permitting very quickly and hopefully bidding before end of year. There's an item on the agenda from the U.S. Department of Treasury. The city needs to approve and accept the Statement of Assurances, Terms and Conditions for the Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Funds. This is the $1.8 million the city is expecting to receive from the federal government as part of the American Rescue Plan. So there's a formality of a form we've got to agree to. There's an item regarding the Boy Scouts. The city was approached by a local Boy Scout troop to do their Eagle Scout project at the dog park, which basically would like to help provide new benches, birdhouses, and trees. So we're just asking the council to offer support. Engineering services. Obviously, the council last year voted to extend our master service agreements with our existing engineers until a new council can be seated. It's time for us to go ahead and advertise for proposals from these engineering firms for a new master service agreement. In addition, we would like to include the advertisement for the proposals for federal projects that would include the Go Mesa funds as well as the American Rescue Act. That way we're procured according to the federal standards, and we have a list of engineers that are properly procured and they're ready to go, kind of pre-qualified. Drainage projects. Over the last 2 months, the city has received over 5 feet of rain. We have received more rain again today, which is causing flooding in certain areas. I know everybody's text messages and emails were lighting up. Most of these areas have already been identified in our major list of projects. The city council has also dedicated $4.5 million to these drainage projects that would be coming from those federal funds, the Go Mesa funds, as well as the $2 million match from the county. The administration is working with the council to prioritize those projects in order to move quickly once the funds are available and the engineers are selected. So basically the federal funds will come in 2 installments of $900,000 each. So as those come, they're basically a year apart, but you do half the projects now, half the projects in the next year. That's our plan for now. That's all I have.
Any questions to the city manager to the left?
How soon before we can get on these drainage projects? As soon as the money gets here?
Once the federal government gives us the $900,000, ideally, we would advertise, get the engineers on board, and get that process completed, have the new master service agreements. The way the funding for this project, Go Mesa and the federal procurement, federal dollars, those have to be separate from the master service agreements, because in that one we negotiate price and rates, whereas this other one you can't do it that way. But once we have the engineers prepared and we have a list of those that we can go to pre-qualified, that the council over the next hopefully 8 weeks, we would identify what are the priority and projects. Let's list them out, how we're going to do them. And we'd be talking about that basically at every meeting, trying to say, all right, here's the list, let's move them down, and then pull the trigger once the cash is in the bank.
Mike, what's something?
So wouldn't it prioritize and getting it ready before the money is actually available, something that you have to start working on now, so you're not waiting?
That's exactly
We've-
what I just said.
And we've got to have you sign up to get on the,
Mike, I was about to ask on his behalf, what's something that an individual can do if they're receiving abnormal amounts of flooding currently due to the excessive amount of rainfall and the overbuilding that we have currently? What is something that they can do for their property?
So a couple of things. Now, obviously, we had Tropical Storm Claudette. We've received 5 feet of water in 2 months. So that's an unusual amount of rain. Claudette, obviously, you know, you made a comment about the building. Claudette wasn't a result of building, in my opinion. But if you looked at Rotten Bayou, and I've seen the drone pictures, it was swollen. It was flooded. So drainage ditches such as Montjoy Creek, and then you got Comey Drive flowing into that. You've got the Cardinal 4 flowing into that. You've got Cardinal 3 flowing. And all these ditches that are coming, including this duck pond. When it's high tide, and it was high tide for Claudette, and we had a 6-foot storm surge, and received over 11 inches of rain in Diamondhead and 11 inches of rain in the Kill. Water is going to have a very difficult time exiting those ditches.
Are there sandbag locations or?
We always have sandbags sitting at City Hall.
Okay.
Yep.
And
I mean, and Nancy's going to know drainage better than me. You know, but
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
asking on their behalf.
any other questions to my right?
when we get an enormous amount of rain, even today was one of the, we were looking online to try and get rainfall, and there was somebody on, was it Weather Underground? On Comey Drive had 5 inches of rain today. So in a short period of time, when that much water falls, the ditches will fill up, and the culverts are only this big. And once it stops raining, it goes poof. Is that ideal? No. Do we need more detention north? And as we look at the drainage projects, I believe we need to retain and detain upstream and slow water down compared to just speeding it all up, trying to send it out. Because when you get a high tide and Rotten Bayou's full, it can't get out. And again, that's part of the reason to get Rostan here and have a conversation about mitigation and looking at bigger picture.
Thank you, Mike.
I think we have a few areas that are, there's a few areas that can't wait for the $4 million and to seek the funding. There's areas that we need to work on, and after today, going out and looking at them, we have to work on them sooner than later. Projects that we're working on drainage-wise is Hilo Street, and that's replacing a culvert that was broken, that we received. It's probably been broken for many years because it's 6 feet down. So that's one that we're working on. Makiki, you know, you had sent an email today. This is one we can't wait on. The back of those homes, the ditch needs to be dug out, and that's something Public Works can do. We have a clear visual plan what we need to do on Makiki. Behind all those homes, we need to dig a ditch out. It needs to go into the main outfall ditch. We need to pull up the culvert under the road and the inlet with the side inlets that we all have gone out and cleaned off, you know, replace that with a head wall and move forward, and the outfall ditch needs to be worked on. But Makiki's one that has to be worked on
Right, as I emailed today, the homeowner received water in her house again. Okay,
So-
that's 4 times in
Right.
a matter of months. So
But then-
in 3.5 years, I didn't have a house that I'm aware of that had water in Diamondhead. And over the last 8 weeks, it's gone crazy. Okay? And that was one. And upon her calling and saying, I was at her house, and she said, hey, I had water. She went in her house. She showed me pictures. The next meeting, we hired Pickering Engineering
That's right.
to go work Makiki. And that's what I told her today. Now, we haven't gotten those plans back. I did get an update on it today from Kara with Pickering. But I asked Kara, I said, look, we pretty much know we need to put a new ditch between these two, the backyards, basically. There's no existing ditch, so water's just shedding off the vacant lots into their backyards. And I said, we're going to dial 811. We're going to draw a line and dig a ditch. The homeowners were fine with it. Kara said, hey, that won't mess us up and what we're trying to do, big picture, take action. So I'm meeting with Stanley tomorrow morning. We'll go paint a line, call 811, and hopefully be digging. 'Cause that's,
Yeah, that needed to be done, because we've got, it's not just the rear properties drain into it. We've got like a 10-foot grade difference, so it is running to these people's backyards. So Makiki's one that needs to be addressed immediately. Comey Drive, I have never, and I've lived here since '93, and I'm very close to Comey. I have never seen Comey like it has been recently. That's one that can't wait either. We have to get out there, figure out what's going on immediately. It's not an option. It has to, we had homes flooding. Another area that I've sat here and talked about, and this is going to be Councilman Finley joining in on this, is Aiki, Kaliki, and Amoka. I've sat here for, I can't even tell you the times. I know the inverts of every culvert. That area today was unbelievable. We had Amoka underwater, Kaliki completely underwater, very close to getting into several homes on Kaliki, very close. Amoka, very close to getting into homes. Yes, and it probably did get into a few. So Kaliki's where we had the house flood a few months ago. You remember the new family that moved here? Today, that road was completely underwater. I could see the water not getting out at Kaliki Circle and Amoka. It stopped at that point. Kaliki, Comey, Makiki, and Iona. Iona's another one. We had a meeting here on a Thursday, and I said, this is going to flood. I've been out there when it rained, and the next day those homes flooded. Iona's another area that we have to work on immediately. Ioki, Comey, Makiki, and the Kaliki streets, those 4 areas, we have to put all our brains together, our manpower, and get out there and see what's going on and get it. Those 4 areas cannot wait for the millions to come in. We can't, it has to be done tomorrow.
Well, and again, on most of the projects you just identified, the engineers have already been hired and engaged to be working.
Except Comey, Kaliki, Aiki
Not at
area.
this point, we don't have an engineer
No,
on
so
that one.
both-
We had one previously.
We have, but we haven't resolved it because we're still talking about the same discussion. So Kaliki, Aiki, and Amoka needs to get an engineer on it like tomorrow, and Comey, we need somebody out there because something is changing the dynamics on Comey. Those homes have never flooded, and now they're flooding. And today was a serious threat. We have a resident that lives on Comey that almost got water again. And that's just my 2 cents on where we are. Those 4 areas are vital.
Agreed.
All right. And thank you for what all you were doing in Public Works. I know today was crazy. Public Works was moving all over the place and trying to, and another thing to reiterate, when water's over the street and it's just about to come in your home, Public Works can come out and talk to you, but at that point, there's not much we can do. At that point, it has reached a point that we can't turn back. So, all right. Any other comments? Moving on to our public comments. First, we have Mr. Ronnie Wetzel. Oh, sorry. These are non-agenda? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you can't come up now. I'm sorry. Well, those are non-agenda, so we have to go in order. I didn't see she wrote non-agenda, so you and Joy Danella will be at the end on non-agenda. We do have an agenda item, Ms. Penny Crawford.
Thank you very much. Penny Crawford, 7922 Apaki. Turn it on. Says green. Okay. All right. Talking about agenda item number 26, which is planning and zoning recommended denying an application for a variance. And I just want to stand by the Planning and Zoning Commission's decision to deny this request. I think this is another request for zoning that is inappropriate to the standards here in Diamondhead. It would provide something that is totally out of our codes and our way of doing things here in Diamondhead, and the setbacks would be dishonored in this whole thing. So I think I would ask y'all to please stand by their recommendation to deny this request. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Crawford. And now moving on to our minutes, and these are minutes to our prior meeting, and I know we have 2 newly elected council members, so if you wish to abstain, we totally understand why. Motion to approve the June 15th, 2021 regularly scheduled meeting minutes. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Finley. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Moran. All in favor? Aye. Now, being it's a new term, we've got a lot of motions, so y'all just need to be patient with us. A lot to go over.
Not
Oh.
everyone voted, I only heard some ayes, but I know there was some that
So-
didn't.
Do we have 2 abstentions and the rest
Abstain.
ayes? Okay.
Abstain. Good catch, Jeannie.
Moving on to resolution. Resolution 2021-204. Motion to adopt Resolution 2021-036, thereby appointing a mayor pro tem for the city of Diamondhead. Could I get a motion to appoint a council member?
I move.
Councilman Clark, would you like to read the name?
Alan Moran.
So we've got a motion, 2021-04, motion to adopt Resolution 2021-036, thereby appointing Councilman Moran for Mayor Pro Tem for the City of Diamondhead, and I second the motion. Any discussion to my left? Any discussion to my right?
Yeah, and is there any other nomination that the board
Any
would
other
take up, or-
nomination?
A recusal?
I don't believe it would require a recusal.
All right, City Clerk.
For the sake of time, I'm just gonna announce ward numbers.
Okay, let's do it.
Ward 1,
Yes.
2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
at large,
Yes.
mayor.
Yes. Resolution 2021-025, motion to adopt Resolution 2021-37, thereby reappointing Michael Russo to the position of city manager. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Finley. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Marr.
Ward 1,
Yes.
2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
at large,
Yes.
mayor.
Yes. Resolution 2021-206, motion to adopt Resolution 2021-38, thereby reappointing Jeannie Klein to the position of city clerk. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Okay,
Second.
we'll go with motion made by Councilman Clark. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Shepherd.
Ward 1,
Yes.
2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
at large,
Yes.
mayor.
Yes. 2021-027, motion to adopt Resolution 2021-039, thereby reappointing Tammy Garber to the position of Deputy City Clerk. Could I get a
Move.
motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Moran. Could I get a second?
Second.
Okay. We had a lot of seconds. Who was first? We'll go with Councilman Shepherd was second.
Ward 1,
Yes.
2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
at large,
Yes.
mayor.
Yes. Resolution 2021-028, motion to adopt Resolution 2021-040, thereby reappointing Lisa McSwain to serve as municipal court clerk. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Clark. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Moran.
Ward 1,
Yes.
2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
at large,
Yes.
mayor.
Yes. Motion to adopt Resolution 2021-041, thereby reappointing Hayes Johnson to serve as a municipal court judge. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Shepherd. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Moran.
Ward 1,
Yes.
2, 3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
at large,
Yes.
mayor.
Yes. Resolution 2021-210, motion to adopt Resolution 2021-042, thereby reappointing Lauren Prater to serve as a deputy municipal court clerk. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Shepherd. Could I get a second?
Second.
Was that, okay. Councilman Marr?
1,
Yes.
2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
at large,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Resolution 2021-211, motion to adopt Resolution 2021-043, thereby engaging and hiring Derek Cusick in his capacity as city attorney and city prosecutor and for other related purposes. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman
Finley.
Finley. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Moran.
Ward 1,
Yes.
2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
at large,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Resolution 2021-227, motion to adopt Resolution 2021-035, therefore reaffirming FY21 compensation for all employees' positions within the city. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Shepherd. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Clark.
1,
Yes.
2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
at large,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Resolution 2021-231, motion to adopt Resolution 2021-045, thereby appointing Mayor DePrio as the voting delegate and the first alternate for the 2021 MML officers election. If nobody opposes, I'll do first alternate Mayor Pro Tem. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Finley. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Shepherd.
1,
Yes.
2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
at large,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Resolution 2021-214, motion to adopt Resolution 2021-046, thereby accepting the donation, granting and conveyance of certain properties from Rouse's Land Company LLC and declaring surplus and conveying unneeded surplus city-owned property adjacent to Rouse's Land Company LLC for the East Aloha Improvement Project. Did you want to recuse?
I can.
Okay. The time now is 6:51. Councilman Clark is leaving the room. Could I get a motion?
So
Move.
moved.
Motion made by Councilman Marr. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Shepherd.
Ward 1,
Yes.
2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
at large,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. The time now is 6:52. Councilman Clark has re-entered the meeting. Resolution 2021-215, motion to adopt Resolution 2021-047, thereby accepting the donation of certain real properties from Michael Cassano and declaring surplus conveyance on certain properties from Michael Cassano and declaring surplus and conveying unneeded surplus city-owned property to Michael Cassano for the East Aloha Improvement Project. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Finley. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Marr. City Clerk.
1,
Yes.
2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
at large,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Resolution 2021-216, motion to adopt Resolution 2021-048, declaring conveying surplus property previously donated but no longer necessary for the city use to the First Banking Association. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Clark. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Moran.
1,
Yes.
2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
at large,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. 2021-217, motion to adopt Resolution 2021-049, thereby finding the use of city resources for the clearing and survey of privately owned property is in the best interest of the city and to benefit the city and it will allow the city to determine exact locations of proposed roadway, park, and boat launch construction and other related purposes. And this is for the Noma Drive waterfront development. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Shepherd. Second.
Second.
Second made by Councilman Clark.
Ward 1,
Yes.
2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
at large,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. 2021-218, Motion to adopt Resolution 2021-050, thereby accepting the donation, granting conveyance of the property from Diamondhead Community Development LLC and GEM City Properties LLC, declaring surplus and conveying unneeded adjacent city-owned property to the Diamondhead Community Development LLC and GEM City Properties LLC for other related purposes. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Finley. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Moran.
1,
Yes.
2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
at large,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Resolution 2021-219, motion to adopt Resolution 2021-051, thereby reducing the mayor's salary for the remainder of the FY21 budget from $3,750 to $2,550, and relocate the remaining $1,200 for the lump sum disbursement to CASA of Hancock County at such time necessary budget amendments are approved by council. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Clark. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Shepherd.
1,
Yes.
2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
at large,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Resolution 2021-225, motion to adopt Resolution 2021-051, thereby accepting the recommendation of the Planning Commission and adopt and envision Diamondhead 2040 as the City of Diamondhead's comprehensive plan. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Shepherd. Sorry,
It's okay.
I'm calling you out. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Mayer. And for discussion, we have Mr. Bob Barber, and I hate to put him on the spot, but he is a wealth of knowledge, so please come share it with us.
Just some summary comments, Mayor, without going in, and council, without going into detail. Unless you want me to go into detail, I can. I just want to summarize the Envision Diamondhead 2040 process, because for us, it's been an excellent project. And it's been an excellent project for a number of reasons. First of all, your staff has been exceptionally engaged and very thorough in guiding and shaping the project as it moves along. Secondly, you appointed a focus group that was likewise engaged, and the inputs were good, excellent inputs. Thirdly, the community engagement at large was more or less off the charts for a community your size in the middle of a pandemic. We approached, depending on how you count approaches, but the most liberal count of it, about 5,000 or so engagements with this process. That's either through taking a survey, watching a YouTube video, coming to a meeting, clicking on the website. There's some broad knowledge of it. So because of that, we can confidently, as your consultants, say that this plan is an accurate it's not perfect. There's no plan is perfect, but it is a very credible and accurate representation of how you see yourselves going forward into the future. Now, how do you see yourselves going forward into the future? You see yourselves as growing Diamondhead, preserving Diamondhead, connecting Diamondhead, and celebrating Diamondhead. And that vision is laid out through all the series of maps and provisions that you see in the document. Again, without going into detail, the plan is intended to drive, is implemented by policies and projects. So it's intended to drive your development policy, and you're already discussing aligning the zoning code to it. You discussed a lot of drainage. We'll be dealing with low-impact design provisions and that sort of thing. It also drives projects. You're discussing the East Aloha. You've already worked on the town center, the Gateway project. So all this adds up to a plan that is providing a vision that you're working with and implementing. And quite frankly, I'm not casually throwing out positive platitudes, but remarkable, really, in the manner in which you've begun to implement the plan already. So it's a very gratifying project, a good project. We appreciate you allowing us to serve you in developing it, and I don't know if you voted on the resolution or not. If you didn't, I hope you do, and get it adopted. And if you have any specific questions, it's been online, it's linked. I did correct an error
Thank you.
with regard to one of the recommendations was we did not, we worded it in a way that it was, the interpretation was not clear. So we rephrased the recommendation and corrected the implementation there, number 18 on your page. Otherwise, that's.
And thank you very much for that clarification. 18 on 102, and I knew you had, it just,
Yeah.
it got missed in the chain.
Yes,
Okay.
we did. We got it. It's corrected. You should, if you got the latest version, you'll have it there.
Right.
And I just want to say, I think it's a wonderful plan for the city going forward.
Thank you.
thank you.
Appreciate it very much.
Agreed.
Yep.
At what time this afternoon did y'all make the changes on the website? I mean, wasn't that this
I
afternoon?
linked it right around noon.
Around noon?
Around noon.
Okay, that's big for the residents. That was
Yes,
something
and
that
it
really
it
needed
is
to be done.
correct. I double checked it. The printout you have, if it's dated 7/6 stamped on it, you have the printout that's linked on the website.
Thank you.
And I checked your link. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Thank you.
Any comments to
Apologize
my
for
right?
missing it.
I'm just going to have to say it's phenomenal. Excellent comprehensive plan. I mean, it has got us motivated, pumped up, geared up, ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, we're open for business, our new town center, mixed
Yeah.
development. You know,
Yes.
we've never had mixed use. So this is moving Diamondhead forward in the
It's
right
exciting.
direction. That's where we need to be.
Yes.
We're excited. We can't thank you enough, and we look forward to working many more years with you,
Thank you so
moving
much.
Diamondhead forward.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank y'all.
you.
If you need a job reference, we'll be here for you.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you for everything, in
Thank
all
you.
seriousness. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Appreciate that.
We already provided one.
So with that being said, City Clerk, Miss Jeannie Klein.
Finley, Ward 1,
Yes.
Ward 2.
Yes.
Ward 3.
Yes.
Ward 4.
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
at
So
large.
with that, we're, at
Yes.
large.
Inevitably, you leave someone out when you start clicking off the excellent inputs we've had. Your planning commission heard this last Tuesday night, and they provided excellent input as well. And also Ron and reviewed Mike, so all those inputs, I hope I didn't leave someone out of this.
Thank you, Mr. Barber. Okay, could I get a motion to approve consent agenda items 19 through 23?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Finley,
Second.
Sure.
a second made by Councilman Clark. All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to the action agenda. Action item 2021-226, motion to concur with the Planning Commission recommendation to deny Diamondhead Community Church application requesting a variance from zoning ordinance Article 10-10.7.d to replace a directional sign at the intersection of Noma Drive and Oak Park Drive that has a copy of an area of 12 square feet. Maximum area allowed is 6 square feet. The variance is requested is 6 square feet. The property is located at 5301 Diamondhead Circle. The tax parcel number is 123A-2-03-27.000. The legal description is point northeast 1/4, section 3-8-14. The property is located in a PFR, Public Facilities and Recreation Zone District. Maximum copy area is 6 square feet. The case number is 202-100-177. Could I get a motion to concur with the Planning Commission's recommendation to deny?
Move.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Finley, seconded by Gerard Marr. Councilman Marr? Any discussion to my left? Any discussion to my right? All in favor? Aye. Action agenda item 2021-227, motion to concur with the Planning Commission's recommendation of Philip Sutton's modified request for a variance from the zoning ordinance Article 9.8.j to construct a 6-foot privacy fence starting 8.5 feet from the southeast corner of the house, continuing toward Pocosh Street for 11 feet, then continuing east along Pocosh Street at a 90-degree angle for 48 feet or longer. This is a corner lot with 2 front yard setbacks and 2 front facades. The ordinance states a privacy fence cannot extend beyond the front facade of a house. The variance requested is 8.5 feet from the front facade, southeast corner, and 11 feet towards Pocosh Street. The property is located at 97440 Diamondhead Drive West. The tax parcel number is 067K-1-36-0567.000. The legal description is Diamondhead Subdivision Phase 2, Unit 4A, Block 5, Lots 5 and 6. The property is located in an R2 zoning district. The fence is required to be set back 20 feet from the front property line, but not any closer than the facade of the house. The case file number is 202100176. Could I get a motion to concur with the Planning Commission
So
to
moved.
recommend Philip Sutton's request for variance?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Marr. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Clark. Any discussion to my left? Any discussion to my right? All in favor? Aye. Action Agenda Item 2021-228, motion to concur with the Planning Commission recommendation to deny Timothy and Jenna Stockstill's application requesting a variance from the zoning ordinance Article 4.6.5E3 to allow the construction of a screened enclosure on an existing deck, which is 4 feet and 4 inches from the rear property line. The rear yard setback is a minimum of 20 feet. The variance requested is 15 feet 8 inches. The address is 689 Oa Street. The tax parcel number is 067Q-0-36-090.000. The legal description is Diamondhead Subdivision Phase 2, Unit 3, Block 5, Lot 63, and a portion of Lot 64. The property is located in R2 zoning district. The case file number is 202100165. Could I get a motion to concur with the Planning Commission to deny Timothy and Gina Stockstill's application?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Finley. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Marr. Any discussion to my left? Any discussion to my right? All in favor? Aye. Could I get a motion to approve claims payable, docket of claims DKT 158569-DKT 158616 in the amount of $183,263.87?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Moran. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Shepherd. All in favor?
Aye.
Could I get a motion to accept the May 2021 Police Department report?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Clark. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Shepherd. All in favor? Aye. Now we're going to move on to public comments on non-agenda items. First, we have Mr. Ronnie Wenzel. And you got your
First
timer.
off, y'all sound real positive, this evening, and I'm glad to hear that and see that. Being proactive is very important. One of the things that I noticed today while I was on the computer and my relaxed time was I seen a lot of posts on Facebook with people, having issues and asking people not to drive down their streets because it's pushing water into their homes. Which made me think that probably some of these people could be elderly people that may not be able to come here and pick up sandbags or shovel sand in sandbags And my question would be, you know, why couldn't we have a lot of sandbags already made for people and even deliver some upon their request, knowing that they're some of the ones who've been constantly being flooded? That's one thing. Another thing, on a positive note, was the fact that keeping the image of Diamondhead, what I viewed as being Diamondhead, was to keep it somewhat looking similar to a tropical paradise atmosphere. And I'm not seeing that when they're planting live oak trees in the median instead of planting palm trees. And I don't know why that is, because live oak trees, after a period of time, they're going to destroy your roads once they start rooting. And you can see that when you get back there by the water tower with some of the trees that's close to the road. The other one is the overbuilding, I think, too quickly right now is probably one of the major causes of a lot of the flooding that we're having. And I would like to see that kind of somewhat slow down, or maybe even come to a halt until they can get the drainage and sewage and everything else completed. So that's my major things for the city. And I got one, you know, for, I don't know if this would pertain to the city or to the POA, but my question once was, because of the comment that one of the ladies made here at a previous meeting, was that there's a lot of chemicals and stuff being discharged around the golf course area where the golf carts are kept and stuff. And my question was, well, where do all of these batteries end up being disposed of, and how are they being disposed? Because I had offered here several years ago an option that would slow down the use of those batteries. Now, I'm one of the family members of Ship Island Excursions. Family been in business here on the Gulf Coast since 1926. Now, with that, we have a couple of golf carts that have been operational on the piers out there on the island, and also there in Gulfport and in Biloxi. We managed to figure out a way that we can actually run them on solar power, extending the life of the batteries to about 8 years. That would definitely slow down the changing of the batteries and the cost of that. So that's something else, but nobody's ever kind of come to me and say, well, hey,
We're
we'd
at
be
time, sir.
interested in finding that.
Good time.
Your 3
Appreciate
minutes.
it.
3 minutes.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you very
Ronnie.
much. No, go ahead.
You got it where it hits the alarm?
It'll go off.
Okay. Next, we have Miss Joy Danella.
I see we're doing a lot of talking about flooding, and I don't think it's a surprise to anyone here that I send email after email about the problems I'm having at my home, which all the streets you did mention are the ones that run past where Elliott Holmes put the road in. The flooding that started happening that way started happening after they cleared all that land. And it is amazing to me how all of you sit up here and you say, you know, you want to pray for the citizens and you want to make all these decisions, yet every decision you make puts a burden on the shoulders of almost every resident in this room. My entire almost 2 blocks was completely flooded today. I'm a hot mess because I was cleaning the water out of my garage that ruined every bit of the baby's brand new stuff we just ordered. It's been like this over and over and over. Not only that, you're building. I mean, it's just, you're approving all these buildings when you see that we have an obvious problem. Anyone can see it. We have trees toppling over. We have streets that have never flooded. I've been here 10 years. Never once have I seen this much flooding on the backside of Diamondhead. But what makes this so incredibly sad is this is my second home to lose everything I own because of the negligence that all you people keep making. It's your decisions that are affecting everybody in this room. We have been given money after money after money to repair to repair drainage issues, but if you go pull those grants, all that money gets reallocated after it gets here. So my question to all of you would be, number one, why are you still building? And number two, when are you gonna recognize how serious of a problem this is for a lot of people? Not just one or two, not just 5 or 6, a lot of people. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Do we have need for executive session?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Crawford, being you signed up, we will let you come to the podium, but we will not let you yell from your chair. That's okay.
Along with all the drainage issues that everybody's discussing, a couple of months ago, the Planning and Zoning Commission dealt with an issue having to do with zero fill on property. And I have been extremely disappointed and frustrated with the idea that nothing has come of that. And I've talked to Michael about it, and we've talked about the fact that it's somewhere being evaluated. But as all of you can see, if you just drive down any of the streets in Diamondhead, fill is going everywhere. 3 and 4 feet of red dirt is being piled on pieces of property, and it's just left to run off to the sides, and it's obstructing drainage. And this proposal was to deal with that, and it had great ideas in it of putting chain walls and things where you didn't add extra fill and the water could be allowed to go around houses, and this runoff would not be filled with red mud that would come down and block our drainage. I would like to see that move forward. I am extremely frustrated with this, and I wish y'all were too. I mean, here we are looking at, just as this lady spoke of, horrible flooding in everybody's homes, 5 feet during the time that this proposal has been sitting on somebody's desk, that we've had 5 feet of rain, and nothing has been done. Please look at that more carefully. Thank you.
We definitely will. Thank you, Ms. Crawford. Any other business that needs to be addressed? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Move.
Recess.
Oh, excuse me. So let me change my motion. Could I get a motion to recess until next Tuesday, July 13th, 2021 at 6 p.m., and this is going to be a continuation for our budget hearing.
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Finley. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman